It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Welcome back and happy Thursday. All right, guys. Well, we're back to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But before we do, you guys can see the banner at the bottom. So I put join our memberships for our first live tomorrow on Jason and I's road trip. Jason just made a community tab post where you guys can see. And this is our first members only live. We're going to take you guys on the road with us. We're going to have so much fun. And this is the best way to kick it off. Thanks to Joe Mendoza for giving us the idea. But we're going to Orlando for Father's Day. We're going to see my dad. Jason's also going to be vlogging this whole thing where you get to see inside my family home, get to meet a little bit of, I guess, the people who created me. I don't know. You'll see. We'll get into it. But with that, guys, you know how this works. If you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button, and let's welcome Jason. Good morning.
Good morning. Oh my God, I'm having so many camera issues. My colors keep changing. Everything's happening. I don't know what's going on.
I mean,
and I'm the tech savvy one, you know? Jesus.
You're the tech. Yes. So then if you have a problem, we definitely have a problem.
We have a problem.
Ooh, Calvin Lawrence is already coming in saying Sutton went too far.
Oh, we have so much to talk about this episode.
So much to talk about here. So I wanted to ask you, and I want to ask everybody in the live chat, which, by the way, we are going live again right after this for the Real Housewives of Dubai. And I pinned that link to the top so you guys can check that out. But I want to ask you, Jason, what would you rate last night's episode a 1 to 10? 10 being the highest, and also in the live chat, go ahead and sound off and I'll bring up your comments.
I thought it was a really good episode. I enjoyed it. I'm going to give it an 8.
I think an 8's a strong number.
Do you think so? You know, I'm always off. Like, I give the good ones like 4s, and then like the ones people don't like, I'm like, oh, that was an 8. But I feel like it's subjective.
No, I feel like 8 was a good number. You know, I completely agree with Calvin Lawrence that Sutton went too far. And the craziest thing to me is I always like to post a poll. For some reason, Hot Messy Topics doesn't let me do that. But I always like to post a poll asking, you know, who are you guys team in this situation? Now, we don't necessarily like to do teams, but this, I mean, we're talking about the Real Housewives, so we have to at this point. And I thought people were going to be kind of team everyone else except for Sutton. And everyone, for the majority, voted in favor of Sutton. And Sutton's kind of annoying me.
Listen, I have to, okay. Where do we start? Are we just jumping in here?
We can start at the beginning where the ladies end up meeting up for breakfast. We'll start there. So hold on. Let me bring up the photo. We'll start where the ladies met up for breakfast. Here we go.
Oh, is that me? Am I on?
Yeah.
Oh,
I want to hear what your thoughts are.
No, I mean, it's good. Okay, so first of all, Lisa is still grieving the death of her mom, the passing of her mother, which is really sad. I don't know how she's holding it together so well, because I have to give her props. I wasn't able to do that when my father passed, so I don't know how, you know, that she's just very strong, it seems.
Right.
But I have to say, what is this show without Garcelle right now, pushing forward the narratives and asking the questions? Like, she doesn't let them get away with any kind of bullshit. When someone brings something up, she's like, please explain. Wait, what did you guys talk about last night? What were you doing? What does that mean? You know, she doesn't let them off the handle at all.
Listen, and I have to say really quick, and we're going to get into this because I want to address this comment too. Sutton did not scream at that lady. Diana is acting like a Karen, especially questioning her sanity. Now that's too far. Sutton is standing up for herself. Diana is annoying. Okay. Before we get into that, you know, Lisa was talking about her mom and dealing with the passing of her mom and how birds and flocks of birds, those are symbols that that she's sending her. And she also talked about how she found in her makeup bag a porcelain little bird. And, you know, again, when I'm reading like the negative comments about Lisa Rinna dealing with this and using it as a storyline, for the first time ever watching Lisa Rinna on this show, I don't think that this is a contrived, concocted storyline. You can't, you know, no one is anticipating the passing of their mother or their mother having a seizure. And this happened while she was filming. So, of course, they're going to talk about it. Lisa Rinna is going to have a lot of emotions. And I'm surprised that she even made it on the girls' trip. Now, we also have Dorit, who makes it to the table last with the bacon-eating vegetarian. Okay. And when she does, she was talking about how she's having a hard time sleeping right now after the home invasion. And I also saw where people are slamming her for that. And I'm thinking in my head, how the hell I wouldn't be able to sleep? I would be so afraid and watching the door especially being in a foreign country. I would have security outside my door. I wouldn't trust anyone, no one. I would ask one of the other ladies, can I please room with you? That's how probably awkward and uncomfortable I would be, especially going on a girls' trip.
Agreed.
Yeah. So Sutton is tired of being the punching bag. All right, guys, you want to jump into this?
I'm going to give it. Let me give my opinion on this, because at that dinner, I have to say, you know, the production did a good job of playing back Sutton talking to Diana for the first time and saying, I don't like aggressive comments or conversations or when people yell. But, you know, you look at it from Diana's perspective coming in. I haven't been a Diana fan yet this season because, you know, she kind of contradicts herself just like Sutton does when, you know, she doesn't go to stores because of her allergies, and people like, I thought you grew up in Yugoslavia and in Sarajevo, and I thought you grew up in this being poor and going through this transition of moving to London and having many jobs, and it just kind of contradicts itself. But if I look at it from Diana's perspective coming into this group, and I feel she is friends with Lisa and Erika, but I feel like she hasn't really chosen like a side really to be on. She's kind of her own person, and she's learning people as she goes. For Sutton to yell at her and to not, you know, like I kind of agree with Diana in this. I really do.
We're going to get to that because there was a lot leading up to this. After breakfast, we had 3 of the women who kind of embarrassed themselves by trying to take surfing lessons, right? We had Crystal Kung-Minkoff, Lisa Rinna, and Erika Girardi. Now, Dorit, Sutton, and Garcelle and Diana decided, you know what, we're going to go shopping. And Erika's like, you guys go shopping, you boring, basic jizz, go shopping. And I'm thinking, girl, the only reason you're not going shopping right now is because everyone is hitting
you owe $2.2 million
in taxes. That's not counting the $25 million lawsuit that she's still trying to battle. So nothing against Erika, because Lexa Prerica and Lisa Rinna, they are stirring the hell out of that pot. This is the pot, and they both have a hand on it, and they're just swishing it round and round. Guys, 200 in the room, go ahead and smash that like button. Show some love. Let's get to 300. But when they're sitting there, they're talking to Crystal, trying to validate her feelings, and they're like, listen, if you have something to say, you need to say it. Because if you don't say it, someone else is going to take control over your narrative, and it's going to make you look bad and like you can't stand up for yourself, can't stand in your truth. And I do agree with that, but I don't think that they're coming from the right place. I feel like they're trying to stir the pot in order to get her to take down Sutton.
That's exactly what it was. I mean, for her to say, you have to say your truth before someone puts the words in your mouth. Like Erika's being very dramatic about this situation, that Crystal was being very dramatic about. You just see Lisa and Erika kind of pushing her on.
They're living for it.
Oh, of course they are. But you know what? As a viewer, I'm living for this. This is more housewives that I'm, you know, robberies and fraud charges of Tom Girardi don't interest me. This interests me because I love to see the social dynamics within the group. Right. And you see Lisa and Erika are just trying to push Crystal into a fight with Sutton.
Right. And, you know, breaking that down even more, you know, with the ladies who are shopping, they're having some casual conversation. Sutton's buying the most expensive ring inside the store because we know that she gets $300,000 a month in alimony from her last husband until she gets married again, which if that were me, I would never get married again. I would just keep my $300,000 a month in alimony. But they're having the conversations, and all of a sudden it switches up and it's about Crystal. And she feels like she's at zero ground. She's like, is it zero ground? Is it ground zero? Is it? But the point is, what she's trying to explain is, I feel like, you know, we're at the beginning of our friendship again. Now, did I say some things the night before where I was saying that I've heard rumors about Crystal where she does this to her friends? She makes up things, and she's lost over 14 friends, which is crazy because I don't think I've ever had 14 friends in my life. But, you know, they're going over and over this whole conversation, and we clearly have a divide amongst the group. Garcelle, Kyle, Dorit, they are team Sutton on this. Diana is kind of back and forth. And then Erika and Lisa Rinna are team Crystal here. In my opinion, I just feel like Crystal lost the argument when she didn't you can't say that there was something dark said and not elaborate on it. She should have just thrown Sutton's ass under the bus and said exactly what that problematic story was, because now it makes her an easy target and everyone feels like she's just throwing something out there to have a storyline and making up bullshit just to keep this going.
Absolutely.
When really she should have just, I think that's what Lisa, Rinna, and Erika are trying to say is like, girl, if you're going to say it. Don't be afraid of it. And she's like, I just don't want to do this anymore. And she's crying over margaritas. Erika said it was something to the effect of 2 or 3 margaritas that they're crying over. And then boom, we're getting ready for the night. Okay. As we're getting ready for the night, we see Erika, Lexapro, and she's talking about how antidepressants and sex, that's what's making her happy in life. And by the way, I forgot to mention the whole fact that when Erika was talking to, and they were at breakfast, she was talking about the fact that Tom used to grade the bar. And Erika found out that Sutton was wanting to study, okay, to become a lawyer. And she said, listen, I can help you study since I know some of the tricks. That's probably not.
Maybe you should keep that to yourself at this point.
Keep that to yourself,
Let's not talk about the tricks in the legal system. We don't want to do that. But as they are getting ready, Kyle calls them and to FaceTime them and see, what they're wearing and what they're doing and stuff before, getting to dinner. And Kyle is talking to Lisa and Erika and asking, how was yesterday with the surfing? And they said, well, Crystal cried. She cried a lot. And then you see them keep going. It's like Lisa is like, they cried a lot. They cried a lot. Or she cried a lot. She cried a lot. Oh, well, what did she say? It's so funny because they didn't remember one thing about the conversation when Crystal was crying, but they just wanted to get that out there to say, oh, she had such a bad day going into this dinner when they knew they would throw this all out there at the table.
Well, what did you think about, I do want to bring this back real quick to Erika, because she talks about in this episode, and right now she's crying broke, but she has an entire glam squad with her. And she's talking about in the episode, certain things you don't downsize on, and that's your glam. Now, we know that she's having financial hardships, and right now her reputation is kind of crap. But she's talking about how antidepressants have really helped her in the situation. And she does also add that she was on a call earlier that day with her legal team. And I guess the opposing side is claiming that she's borderline bully-ish and mean. And she's like, listen, I wear that shit as a badge of honor. Yeah, I'm a bully. I'm thinking, you're saying that you can't say half of the shit that you say when it comes to the victims because every single word counts. And then you're talking about knowing the tricks for the bar, that Tom used to grade the bar. You're talking about how you wear being a bully as a badge of honor when there are victims who still need to pay their medical bills and pay for everything that they've been through, when really you're being accused of using all of this money with your husband to fund your lavish lifestyle. But you can't say anything in defense of the victims. You can say that you're a bully and you wear that as a badge of honor. Like, this blows my mind.
I know we've talked about it so many times, how easy it would be to make a statement or just to, even on the show, acknowledge it. Just some empathy. It's not saying like, I'm so sorry for what I've done, because we don't know if she knew or whatever the case is. Just have some kind of empathy, like this, maybe it makes you feel a little shitty that that's what was going on and you didn't know. Like, yeah, it would be so easy. I mean, to get over that hurdle.
But let's get back to it now, since I got that out of my system. 300 in the room, guys. 300.
Nothing's gonna change. Nothing's gonna change.
And if Erika can afford glam, she can afford to pay the victims back their money.
They all brought glam. Everyone had a glam team. I'm like, we're meeting everyone's glam team.
Diana brought glam, and Erika brought glam.
And Garcelle brought glam.
Did Garcelle have glam?
Yes.
Garcelle just bought a beach house. She can afford her shit.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So I'm leaving Garcelle alone. And Diana, same thing. She has a lot of money. So I'm leaving her alone. They don't have victims, alleged victims. So I don't care what glam squad that they have. For Erika, I'm like, this is very tone deaf, girl. Also, you see Kyle Richards, who has more money than most of them except Diana and maybe even Sutton. Sutton and Kyle, they don't have glam squads. You see Kyle, she's like ironing her clothes. And you see Sutton, and she just kind of always has the same.
Sutton had her team there.
I want to say something too about Sutton. Sutton has some faces that remind me of my ex-stepmom that I really could not stand. And this is nothing against Sutton, but like these faces that we see, I'm like, oh. She always has like kind of like that, I will rip your ass open with my eyes. Like That's the kind of face that she gives me. But let's pan back over to the dinner, okay? We see Lisa Rinna, and she is enjoying the hell out of this dinner because, well, she knows that Sutton's going down. Or at least that's what she thinks. She thinks someone's going down. So they bring up the whole conversation again, and Sutton apologizes. But Crystal comes up with it, and this is how we kind of kick this off. Crystal says, "Oh, but do you still hate me? You said you hate me." And she's like, "Excuse me with that. I never said I hate you." And then cue in Diana.
But she did. She said, "As much as I hate you, I love you."
She said, "As much as I love you, I hate you." She ended with a negative, which if we're going to rip it all apart, let's rip it all apart.
Did she? I thought it was the other way around.
Nope. And if you see Diana, okay, Diana says to her, she just simply calls it out. And this is why I don't necessarily agree with the comments, but I want to hear what you guys say in the live chat about this. Diana calls her out and says, "No, wait a minute. Girl, I heard you. And you did say that." And she's like, "Let me finish, Diana. Let me finish. I'm not done yet." And she's like, "Hold on." And she's like, "I'm not a bad person." She's like, "I didn't say that you were a bad person. I'm just simply saying you said that." And she's like, "I did not say that." And then Diana's like, "Okay, here we go with more hypocrisy. This is the bacon eating vegetarian." And she's being clumsy with her words, which that when she called her weird, I didn't like that. But when she says that she's being clumsy with her words, I'm starting to agree with that statement because I'm
agreeing with that statement every episode we see Sutton now. Even when she says, "I am a good person," stop telling us that. Just be a good person. If you're a good person, you don't need to tell people, but you should explain what you meant.
Right. Coffee Buzz, rip my ass open with your eyes merch, please. Okay. Let's see what else you guys are saying. "As much as I hate you, I like you." Okay, so maybe I had it backward. Jason, you had it right. Everyone's coming to your defense. Okay. That needs to own her ish. She can't keep backpedaling on her words. Now, what I didn't like in this situation was when they were talking back and forth, then she was telling Crystal, "Okay, I shouldn't have brought hearsay to the table, and I apologize for that. But you have done this to me time and time again." And then she's like, "I'm sorry that you feel that way, whatever." And she's like, "That's not an apology, and you're not going to do that to me." And she's like, "What I want you to say," and all of the women look like, "What the hell is going on?" And then Erika chimes in, and she's like, "Hold on, girl. I think that's what she's trying to say." And Crystal's like, "Yeah." This is where Garcelle finally chimes in, and she's like, "Erika, you're bugging the shit out of me." And Erika's so calm on her antidepressants and alcohol was just like, "Why? Why can't I be involved in this?" And you see the looks going back and forth between Erika and Lisa Rinna. It's driving me insane, but it's actually kind of comical.
It was actually funny. It was like a Housewives moment.
Yeah, it was a Housewives moment for sure.
I do have to say, just going back really quickly though, I understand how Sutton is feeling like put into a corner, with this whole Crystal thing which she couldn't even answer to or answer what was said by Sutton that was so dark and it was just kind of misleading. And to have Sutton in this situation, now Sutton's reacting to Diana. Now Diana's not liking Sutton. Now Diana's crying over Sutton. I'm like, this is just crazy right now.
What I didn't agree with was when Sutton was she's like kind of begging Crystal to apologize. And she says, "You need to say it out loud so everyone can hear you that you're not going to do that to me again." And she's saying it like she's coming off so angry in the situation. And then you see Crystal, who Garcelle feels like she's kind of like meek in the sense of like she cowers down. And Garcelle's like, "Ladies, I don't necessarily like this because I feel like she's not standing up for herself necessarily. So it almost comes off like we're bullying her." And then when Sutton and Diana are going back and forth, Sutton has to get up and walk away from the table. And Kyle says, "Do you need someone to come with you?" And she's like, "I do." And they go into the bathroom. Sutton's freaking out. She's flipping her shit. And then pan over to the table. You have Diana crying. And Diana's just like, maybe it's the hormones. I don't know. And I'm thinking, I don't know what the hell is actually going on here at this point. But what I want to do is get to the bottom of it. I feel like Diana has made her assessment on Sutton, and she feels like she is just a hypocrite, that she's not a great person, and she definitely doesn't want to be in the friendship circle with Sutton. I think that we can...
listen, as someone just said it in the comments, Diana came in not liking Sutton. I do believe that, but Sutton is just giving more and more, evidence to what Diana's trying to say. You're kind of a hypocrite. You say you don't like aggressive conversations and yelling and behavior, and then you have aggressive conversations, yelling and behavior. You say one thing, you do another. You have to say you're a good person. I hate when someone tells me I'm a good person, and you don't need to convince me of that. You just need to, we know you're a good person, like Diana said. So I don't know. I'm on the fence with this here because I haven't been a Diana fan yet, because I think she shows a lot of hypocrisy too with how she says certain things. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I like the fact that Diana said something like, honestly, I am kind of applauding Diana for saying, hold on, no, wait, you said that, because all of the women were at the table when she said that and nobody else is saying anything. So I'm actually here for Diana bringing this up because she's screaming at Crystal across the table saying, excuse me with that. And it's like, no, girl, you did say it. And that's all Diana's simply saying. She knows what the contract is. She showed up. She is a full-time housewife. She has to open her mouth. If she doesn't, she's going to be like a one-hit wonder, like Elizabeth Lynn Vargas or Catherine Edwards. She doesn't want to be that. So she's going to open her mouth and she's going to say what she heard. Fair.
Fair.
Okay. I'm with Diana on this. Listen, I'm kind of with Diana on this too. Now, let's keep it moving. Okay. When Diana and Crystal head to the bathroom with Dorit, they end up leaving, and Kyle takes this opportunity and she brings it up and she says, you know, she has to understand that Crystal put herself in this position. And she feels like Crystal was the one who used clumsy words and she alluded to something, and that was a very dangerous thing to do. Now, Garcelle is not Team Crystal. She is Team Sutton. Garcelle has also recently said in an interview that she's still really good friends with Sutton and she doesn't really care to keep up with Crystal. She doesn't know what she's up to. And for Crystal, she unfortunately has put herself in the position where she's being used as a pawn, because when you see Lisa Rinna and Erika's faces just going like this the whole time, and then you see Lisa Rinna, they're just enjoying the shit out of this. And this is the first time I've actually enjoyed them.
I know the Lexapro is doing amazing things for Erika, and I'm just saying, as a viewer, okay, I'm actually kind of enjoying Erika. She's just, I don't like to watch people unravel, but for some reason, this is funny. You can totally see their looks together. When Sutton got up from the table, they were like, bingo, hit it, target, done. Like, we got it.
Yeah,
it's like that's what they were going for. I don't know. I wanted to ask you what you thought about this whole Crystal thing and the rumors about Crystal and her 14 friends that she no longer talks to. And if Kyle seems to think that she is seeing evidence of what she has heard in these rumors.
I mean, they all said that they've heard it. Lisa Rinna said that she heard it. You know, and that's another thing too, really quick, since we're talking about Crystal. When, you know, Crystal, like when they all sat down, Erika threw Crystal under the bus again after sitting there and consoling her. So she really is playing this card, which again, I'm not mad at, because her and Lisa Rinna, their contracts are coming to an end after this season. So they're like, wait, how do we get our contracts renewed? This is a job. Erika is apparently broke. She's the brokest, richest person that I've ever met with the Glam Squad. I don't even know what's going on with
the
that.
Creative director too, that title.
I mean,
what does that make from Erika Jayne LLC?
I don't know. But what I do want to say about the whole Crystal thing too, you know, like for Crystal, she feels like there was something that was said that was problematic, right? I'm going to bring up this photo really quick. And I've already talked about this, but I'm going to bring up this photo and I want to see what everyone thinks about it, because Crystal brought this up, that she said something that was really problematic and that she could potentially have said something that was racist, right? Now, then you have Sutton's daughter's ex-BFF who comes out on TikTok and says, me, when I cut off my high school BFF of 5 years because her mom was racist to me, and now she's a real housewife getting called out for being racist, and her response is, my white daughter had a Chinese friend on TV. And then she put, I'm not Chinese. So maybe there is something more to the story, and maybe Sutton doesn't want to be labeled that way. I don't know. It's a very dangerous label to have. Cancel culture is very real. If there was something problematic that was caught on a hot mic, it could definitely be the end to Sutton being a real housewife. 100%. Not just being a real housewife, but all of her connections within the society and running different boards and having her Sutton concept store. People could boycott the shit out of her. Look what happened to Kelly Dog. So
I don't know what I think about that yet too, because I know that a lot of people, a lot of kids, especially like getting involved in social media and stuff, like I don't know.
But she posted photos with Sutton's daughter.
that's okay. Like, that's fine. But who knows what was ever said or
Right.
done,
There's
or if
your story,
someone
their
wants
story, and the
15
truth.
minutes of fame for a kid to get on TikTok and say that. I mean, who knows what the truth is, right? But what I'm saying, what Crystal is alluding to, she is not showing any evidence of. You know, she's not even saying what was said. So
right. But then what they're alluding to with, you know, Crystal's 14 friends, they're not showing any evidence of. And even Erika said, give us some names. They're like, I'm not going to do that. They're not here. They're not sitting at this table. It's like the same shit with Teresa Giudice saying Jackie Goldschneider's husband is cheating on her in the bathroom at the gym. Give us receipts. If you don't have receipts, then just be quiet about it.
Yeah, it's these blind item things. Like, even when bloggers pick up like blind items, it's like, what are you doing? Like, who knows? You know, what is the truth? It's dumb.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring up some callers. I'm going to go down the list. I see that we have 4 or 5 in here. So I'm going to go down the list. I'm going to bring them up and I'm going to ask some thoughts here. Hi, El Michelle.
Hello, good afternoon. Oh, good morning. Excuse me, it's still morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me okay? Thank you.
Okay, so did you watch last night's episode?
I watched last night's episode. I did enjoy it. It was a good episode for me as far as housewives are concerned. Yeah.
I agree.
I thought so too.
Yeah, I thought so too. So in your opinion, since we're all going back and forth about this, what are your thoughts about it? I want to ask your thoughts about a few things.
Yes,
with
sir.
Diana sticking up and saying, no, girl, you did say that hate situation, and the way that Sutton reacted to her, do you feel like Sutton was completely in the right? She was backed into a corner and you can understand why she reacted the way that she did? Or do you feel like Sutton has no business talking to Diana in that kind of aggressive manner? Because for me, I felt like it was aggressive.
I did not feel like it was aggressive because for me, I feel like Diana was a third person chiming in a conversation that had nothing to do with her. And I feel like if you're going to chime in when I'm already amped up, you can get the smoke too. Like you had no point in this conversation. Now I understand what you wanted to say as far as you said you love her but you hate her. Like I really feel like that whole statement, that whole conversation, you said you love her but you hate her. Like, yeah, I have respect for Crystal. I love her as a person, but I hate her for what she just now did. And the fact that they tried to make that a thing, as far as you said you love her but you also said you hate her, was just like now Diana is reaching to be relevant in this conversation. The whole "I love you, I hate you" thing.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't understand why that was being brought up. I didn't understand why that particular thing was being brought up. It was just weird to me.
Okay, and then my next question for you is, Diana Jenkins, there have been a lot of rumors around her, and one of the rumors was that she was a madam at one point, grooming young girls and celebrities to, I guess, sleep with these high-profile big rollers. Now, she did address this on the show. What did you make of that?
She addressed it on the show, and it's so funny. When she addressed it, she only spoke to 2 people, and the 2 people that she spoke with was one, Rinna, who was already in the book, and Erika, who's a gold digger, who I feel like if she was recruiting people as a madam, Erika would be the prime person that she would be picking up to be one of her employees.
Maybe that's why Erika's trying to get in her good graces.
Exactly. I feel like she knows, like, she travels in circles where she could probably hook her up with, big money men, if you will. I have a question for you, Adam. I feel like you said earlier that you didn't that Sutton bothered you this episode.
Yeah.
And I feel like I didn't get really what specifically, other than she reminded you of your ex-mother-in-law. Like, I didn't get exactly.
No, it's not that. No, it's ex-stepmom, but it's not that it's not that part that's like triggering. I think it's just when she has like these faces like this, and she's like telling, she's kind of telling Crystal across the table, no, you need to say it like this. And then when she's looking at Diana and kind of getting in her face a little bit and pointing at her, I feel like I agree with Diana in the sense that that's hypocrisy, because they panned back over to the episode where Sutton was talking about how she doesn't like conflict. She doesn't like getting aggressive in conversations, but then you're exhibiting the same behavior that you don't want anyone to exhibit towards you, that you complained about last season when Erika said, if you ever do that to me again, if you ever call me a liar, I'm going to come for you.
But is it not because she's being challenged? Like, am I not supposed to like kind of not retaliate, but kind of come with the same energy or defend myself, if you will.
It's
Like I
weird
feel
that
like
she
need to
didn't
defend
come with
myself.
that energy for Erika, though. That was, like when she wanted to defend herself to Erika, she kind of just cowered down. But here, she's not doing that. I don't know. Something
A
about
friend of
Sutton is
mine
off for me this season too, and I don't know what it is yet.
a friend of mine actually said something that made me kind of take pause to it, that they feel like Twitter or social media has kind of built Sutton up to make her kind of, I don't know, I want to say stronger, but almost like, okay, Sutton, we have your back. Now go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so
Right.
I feel like there's an element of that to it that is, it's almost like, remember, don't back down when they're challenging you. And so I feel like I understand what you're saying. Like last year we had like a more timid Sutton. I feel like now we're getting a Sutton who
Like
um
coming into her own.
yeah, I feel like coming into her own, because in that moment I understood both Sutton and Diane in the fact that I'm asking you a question, but you're cutting me off as far as where Diane was asking Sutton a question. But when Sutton was trying to, explain herself and defend herself, now you're cutting me off, but you're being shady with your response. So yeah, I'm gonna snap back because I see you're defending your friend, and to me right now, Crystal, like Kyle said last night, like you're playing victim now when you're the reason why you're in this situation.
Right. And I do agree with that because she
Yeah.
did say that there was something problematic said, but she didn't elaborate on that. And I do agree that that is something dangerous to do. I don't know. Watching Sutton was one of my first Real Housewives of Beverly Hills interviews, and we hit it off so well. And I thought she was so sweet. And I can see where you're saying that maybe it's social media building her up and like, don't take this from anyone and kind of defend yourself. But watching her this season, there have been a few things that she said, even like I'm sorry, well, I didn't get a gun put to my head or held to my head. Like some of the things that she's saying, I'm like, just as much as I think Diana's coming off tone deaf, I feel like Sutton kind of is sometimes, where she's, you know what I mean? Like it's not, I don't hate Sutton on the show. In this moment, I didn't necessarily love her reactions, but I can see where you're coming from and saying, you know what, when you're backed into a corner and you're trying to talk and speak your piece, let me talk and don't
Especially when you're like you're saying too, like when you're having a conversation with someone and someone keeps butting in, it's like, shut up.
Yeah.
I just want to have a conversation with this person.
And you're not even really a part of, the third person chiming in for this person, and you really weren't even in the conversation to begin with. And I have one more thing before I leave, because I know you have more callers that want to call in. Thank you guys are so awesome as well. But one last thing, I want to give a shout out to the tag team production stylings of Kyle and Garcelle. For me, just watching them produce this show together, almost like throwing it back, like, now you take it. No, now you take it. You say this. Now, no, you say that. Like, it's almost like they're giving each other eyes in between time that we don't see. And I hope it continues. It's something about the two of them producing this show together I'm absolutely enjoying.
It's kind of, and just to piggyback off of what you're saying, it's kind of like they're doing that on one end, and Lisa and Erika are also doing that on another end. Like the eyes that they give each other back and forth when they know that they're stirring the shit, and they're like, oh, we want to be there for you, but really the end game is to take Sutton out and expose her. Like we can read through all of it, but I'm living for it.
Michelle, like, what do you think, just really quickly, I have a question for you. What do you think of the cast right now? Because I'm really loving Garcelle holding everyone accountable for the things they do and say.
I honestly love everybody on the cast. The only thing is I wish Diana was a friend of, because I just don't get how she fully is a part of this. Like, I'm like, is she just a helper to take down Sutton? Is she a helper for Crystal? Oh, I have one more thing about the Crystal thing. I don't know if anybody else felt the same way, but the whole thing about she lost 14 friends because she's a social climber kind of went back to something else when she first joined the cast. When she first joined the cast, she was kind of introduced as, oh, she's also Kathy's friend. And the first thing, I'm just like, what does this young girl have to do? Like, how is she friends with Kathy? It just was a weird thing. Like, okay, she social climbed all the way to Kathy. I just thought that was an interesting connection with the two of them.
I'm social climbing all the way to Kathy as well. No,
yeah, and I wonder if she climbed over those 14 friends in the process.
Listen, maybe this happened, but if it did, again, I want to line up these 14 friends. Let's get them at a round table and let's talk about all of it because I want to hear about it. Just like we have, Sutton's daughter's ex-BFF coming out and exposing her or giving her insight to what could have potentially have happened and what behavior that she feels like she witnessed. I want to talk to Crystal's 14 friends and know what the hell did she do to you guys?
Adam, I think you could set that up. You should set that up. I can see that.
Yes, we need to do that
that's a 4-part series.
All right, Michelle, I'm going to work on that for you. And in the meantime, I wanted to say thank you so much for calling in. I had a blast with you calling in last week, and everyone loves you in the live chat. So we really appreciate you. We hope to steal you back soon.
Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, so we have some more callers in the room. I'm going to go ahead and bring them up. It is a common trope that Americans consider Asian women as exotic and passive. I couldn't get 14 people at my funeral. Oh, I feel everyone heard the rumors about Crystal, but none of the others said it. Kyle said it when most were not at the table. Okay. Crystal doesn't seem to care. On a recent live stream, she said, guys, remember this is a produced show. Okay. All right. We're going to bring up someone. Jason, are you ready for this?
Yes.
We're going to bring up someone who is a huge Erika stan, and then we're going to bring up someone who is not. So let's do them at the same time because I like I like some banter. You know what I mean? It can't just be Adam and Jason. So let's welcome Erin D, who also has in her name Whose Side, and also Krista Marie. Not trying to rhyme it, but I'm here for it. Hi, Erin. Hi, Krista.
Hi.
Hi.
All right.
It conveniently rhymes, though. It works.
It does. It conveniently works. And also, Krista and Erin, you guys sometimes, don't you guys do shows together?
Whose Side? Whose Side do one every week?
Yes. Okay. So then this is good. It's not like, sometimes I was telling Jason the other day, and I know it was completely innocent. By the way, guys, 500 in the room, smash that like button. And we're going live right after this for Dubai. It's pinned in the top of the live chat. But I was telling Erin that I had you and Joe Mendoza on, and you guys were going back and forth, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this. And Jason,
you have no idea. It just, yeah, that's a whole other show.
Continued for Anchor Watch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did
and
it?
then yesterday, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They were fighting in the Anchor Watch chat before Anchor Watch started. The two of them.
I love it.
Jeez.
I love it. That's what it's for.
Okay. Well, Erin D, by the way, Brian Scott Patterson, hi, welcome to members. And I'm so excited to live stream our road trip with you guys tomorrow. But I'm going to start with you, Erin. I know that you were in the room first. Alexa Prerica and Lisa Rinna. What are your thoughts on this dynamic?
I like the Erika and the Rinna kind of the looks to each other. I was like, I'm into it. I'm not usually a Lisa Rinna fan, but she went for it this episode a little bit. I'm wondering if, she was like, you know what? Screw it. She was trying to behave earlier in the season, but she just gave up and she went back to her roots.
What did you think about Garcelle telling Erika that she's bugging the shit out of her?
No, I love Garcelle is my favorite, but I was here for Erika getting some a little bit of revenge on Sutton. So I was like, you can be quiet for a minute, Garcelle.
Okay, this is like rapid questioning. And Jason, if you want to chime in on this at all, I'll even let you rapid question Krista over here. But
okay.
Erin, my next question for you is, Diana, did she overstep her boundaries when she spoke up on behalf of Crystal and said you did use the word hate and she chimed into the conversation? Or no, is that exactly what she was contracted to do?
No, she absolutely had to, because I don't understand why none of the other women were like, no, you said it. Right. Sutton was wrong with going after Diana because she literally was doing exactly what she did to Crystal. She wasn't letting her talk. And then Diana wasn't letting Sutton talk. So I was like, well, Diana's just doing what you just did to Crystal. So you just got to shut up and deal.
Okay. And then Krista, for you, because I know that sometimes you can be a little bit skeptical. And hold on, Val Porter said, Krista, you look great. I want to bring that up.
Thank you.
What did you think about Diana addressing this Madam story?
I feel like she doesn't want to address the Madam story. I feel like that was a little bit of a setup for her when they brought up that book. Because I knew there's some things in her past, but I didn't realize how, I'll say the word dark, that book was or is. Right. So I feel like that was kind of like a Danielle Staub first season housewife thing where let's bring this book up and see how she reacts. And like, because I really believe that's why she was crying at the table.
Okay. So you so you don't
I'm
think
not sure. I'm not but I'm not a Diane fan, but I feel like that was a setup right there. I feel like there's something to
And this is a question for both of you. Victoria Lee said, can we get off the Sutton hate train?
Why not?
Do you feel like we are on a Sutton hate train over here on this live?
Yes, because I feel like she was not on this live. I feel like on the show, it's the show. They're bullying Sutton because she was the weak one last year, and it's now becoming an unsafe space for Crystal as well. Like they're pushing Crystal they're hyping her up just to turn around and like do exactly what she said that they do to her. They don't they completely just flipped the script. They made it a not safe space for her to call Sutton a liar or say whatever had to happen. Whatever. I feel like productions, like, I don't know what happened because it was such a flip flop. Everybody flip flopped on the way they felt, and it's like and then again, like, get all these people in a room? Like, everybody's like, well, you said this yesterday, and you said this today, and you said this day, and you said this last week. Well, like, I don't know. I feel like everybody's bullying Sutton, and Sutton was just literally trying to stick up for herself and say, stop doing this to me. You guys are doing this to me. And she literally can't even get one sentence out to stick up for herself without them jumping down her throat. But of course she's going to do it back to them. They just did it to her. Nobody will let her speak.
You know what's go ahead, Erin.
But Sutton started it with Crystal not letting Crystal speak. And I don't hate Sutton. I'm sort of on the fence, but Sutton does stuff and then doesn't want to get called out for it. And this is reality TV. You're going to be called out for it. Just
all she said was, "I like you." I just
when she is being bullied, but we're going to go back and forth. We're going to look at each situation.
But we also know, Crystal, every word. Crystal got a lot of shit last season for using the word violated, and when she used the word violated, it like took over the whole point of what she was trying to say. But I do want to say one thing I'm disappointed with when it comes to Crystal here. You can tell Crystal feels like she's kind of pissed off the group, and she thought Garcelle was going to side with her when she originally brought up this dark comment, and that's not how that went. Garcelle didn't side with her. Kyle's not on her side. Dorit's not on her side. I mean, really, it's just Erika and Lisa Rinna who they're like little spineless jellyfish with a hidden agenda back here, and they're trying to use her in order to take Sutton down. So I feel like Crystal's a very smart woman. I'm just shocked that she's not reading through this, or maybe she is, and she realizes I don't have anyone else in my corner. So you know what? I'll play with Lisa and Erika.
Because they've broke her down. They have broken her down.
Well, you have to be a friend to have a friend. So, and I don't know.
Erika is nobody's friend, and neither is Rinna. So I know Crystal's not is smart enough. I just feel like at that point, she was so like this. She was upset, and she was like, I'm just going to listen to them at this point. They made her feel like it was safe to go after Sutton, and then when she tried to, it was horrible. I feel like it was horrible. And
I do want to say really quick to Brian Scott Patterson. This is something that we said when we did our live in New York, our live show, and had Margaret Josephs on the stage. And she applauded Lisa Rinna because she said, even though she's not necessarily the fan favorite, we need a Rinna because she keeps the shit going. And I agree with Brian here that Sutton is great TV this season. I'm not saying that. And he also pointed out, we all know that Sutton doesn't believe Dorit's break-in wasn't planned, which I'm not touching that because I don't want to be PK's see you next Tuesday of the week. So,
I mean, didn't Sutton say, I like Crystal, I just hate what she did? Isn't that kind of along the lines, or I like you, but I hate you? Like, that's what she
said at that dinner, but she did say, I like you, but I hate you as much as I like you. That was at the dinner night before.
Explained herself, though, and they took it
she
as...
She could have said, I'm explaining myself. That's not what
she
said.
They wouldn't let her finish. They wouldn't let her finish. They would not let her finish.
I feel like Jason and I are like, are we the ones who are grading the bar right now and just like watching you guys go? This is like, I mean, that's
sorry. Because I feel like you both do have good points. So sometimes I can't really even argue back with her. But like, I'm kind of like, but then I'm like always stuck on I don't know.
You've never
Jason,
had a problem
anything that you feel like we haven't mentioned?
Huh?
I said, Jason, is there anything that you feel like we haven't mentioned or that you want to ask Erin or Krista about this?
No, I do want to ask what you guys think about the rumor of Crystal and the social climbing thing and the also the just losing friends right and left. I mean,
He's
listen,
the
we
one
all
who said
evolve and we lose friends. Like, you know, we all change. It's reason, season,
true.
lifetime. But when everyone's heard it,
She said it too, though. She said it. She is the one that said it. They did a flashback or whatever. Flashback of her saying it somewhere or at some point. And so, I mean, she said something happened and she knew the number 14. I feel like it was like a social group of somebody that she belonged to, maybe. And something happened, and then the whole group just followed suit. You know, maybe.
Well, that's
know.
not fair. You can't say somebody lost if she got kicked out of like
she said
the Beverly Hills Social Chess Club, and that was 14 members. Then that doesn't count because then you're
It
just
doesn't.
Why does it have to be chess?
Crystal is the one who started the number with the 14, so that's on her a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, do I believe that she social climbed? I do believe they all sort of social climb in Beverly Hills a little
She's
bit.
married to
That's the game.
guy.
That's
She's
the
married
game.
to the Lion King guy.
I mean, the man who she's married to has quite the resume. So she really, I'm sure with going to different movies and events and meeting all of these Disney execs and stuff like that, like she is in the social circles, just like Erika was when she was married to Tom Girardi, and she was sitting down at these like big dinner parties, and it was like the chief of police and like the mayor and the governor and all of these other and then you have Lisa Rinna, who she's going to these charity events. You know that she likes to social climb because she'll do anything for a job. And then you have Sutton, who also has admitted, I'm a part of society. Like they all social climb.
Right. I mean, that's like Beverly Hills. It's just, I mean,
that's what they all do. So.
It's exhausting. That's why Jason and I were happy to move back to Florida. The Keeping Up with the Joneses BS was like, God, it was like,
it's a lot. I mean, and I think it goes down in like tiers, right? We were definitely on the bottom tier, but
it turns you like, it's like, God, like, you steal money.
You're not going to this. You're not going to be dressed like that. And we're not doing this. And I'm like, no. And what the hell are you talking about? I always felt like, do we have to do that to live here?
We got to a point where Jason would tell me, because I would go outside in my pajamas and I would look like legit, like my hair, I would look like a cockatoo and walk the dogs or go to Starbucks. And Jason's like, you cannot go and like run around the city like that. And I'm like, I don't give a shit what anyone thinks about me. So it's just like,
you guys have it easier than us though. Like you don't have eyelashes to put on, extensions to put on. You don't have like, I don't know. You should see what it looks like.
I always put a bow on, so I'm good.
Yeah. Like you guys
just put that hat on.
Yeah.
Like I'm like that easy. Plus you live at the beach, so it's like in the wintertime here, it's like
And I don't necessarily understand. You're going to have to elaborate on this. Are the Addams Family badges little bats?
Oh, that means when you belong to your family member, the symbols that are coming up next to everybody's name on the live.
No, it's Addams.
They shouldn't be bats.
It's your logo, I think.
It almost looks like bats.
It does. It's just your logo really small. But I say that I think it means, but it's just.
Well, we're also, now that, just for anybody who's joining, by the way, 550 in the room, we're going to cut this soon because we have 10 minutes to get ready for Dubai. But I wanted to say for anyone who's joining memberships, at first, when you start off memberships, they limit how many emojis and stuff that you can put on in badges. But now, since we have enough people, we're going to add more, change it up. And we have a lot of fun stuff coming your way. I actually am kind of a little awkward about introducing everyone to my family this weekend because my dad is like Larry the Cable Guy. And I mean, you guys will see, we have a behind the scenes vlog coming your way, but it'll be interesting. I want to bring this up really quick too. Lisa Rinna is so thirsty. She would go to the opening of someone's mail. Okay.
It's the truth.
All right.
It's the truth.
Aaron, Krista, hopefully you guys are around in like the next 10 minutes. We're going to be back for Dubai. I'm going to go pull some photos. That way we can break this down because we have some more messiness to talk about. And Dubai's finally getting good. Episode 1 was, I thought, good. Episode 2 was a little bit of a flop. And episode 3, it's got me. So
we're still learning.
I've liked it so far.
It's like every franchise though. It's like Salt Lake or when Potomac, like that took so long. We're learning the dynamics and we're learning the ladies and we're learning who's going to stick around and who might not.
Trying.
Okay. Krista, Aaron, thank you so much. We love you guys, and we'll see you hopefully in 10 minutes. Bye. All right, Jason, that was a fun live.
Yeah.
I like how you and I are like looking like a ping pong match going back and forth, like trying to mediate, but like we can't. You should see Krista and Joe. That's like a whole nother funny story.
You guys can't see, I have 4 animals in this room, like currently running around. My camera's freaking out today. I don't know what's going on. So I'm just happy to make it through.
All right, guys. Again, don't forget to smash that like button. I said this, and the only reason I'm mentioning it so much is because it is tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. Jason and I are going on a road trip. We actually took this photo this morning, but we're going on a road trip, 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So join us on the road. Send me whatever questions and topics you want to cover. It's not going to be Bravo related content unless you guys want to talk about that. But I just want to talk about and answer anything unfiltered that you guys want to talk about. So you guys can go to the community tab, check it out, click the link. That way you can smash that like button and join us tomorrow. See you in 10 minutes. Bye, guys. Love you.
Bye, everyone.
Dubai, link, top of the live chat. Go click it. See you there. Bye.